My name's Dahlia, and I made a decision most people would call crazy. I showed up to meet my fiancé's family, looking like I'd just scraped together rent money. Lyle, are you sure about this? I asked in the car, tugging at the cheap cardigan I'd bought specifically for tonight. Babe, it's just dinner. They're going to love you. He squeezed my hand, completely oblivious. Besides, my mom already thinks you're perfect for me. That's what worries me. We pulled up to the house, not a mansion, but close enough. Lyle had always downplayed his family's wealth, but I'd done my research. His mother Rowena had her hands in 3 luxury boutiques across the state. His father Gerald owned a commercial real estate firm. They had money, and from everything Lyle accidentally let slip, they had opinions about who deserved to have it. Rowena opened the door before we could knock. She was exactly what I expected. Tailored dress, perfect hair, smile that didn't reach her eyes. Lyle, darling! She pulled him into a hug, then turned to me. And you must be Dahlia. Please come in. I followed them inside, clutching the Target tote bag I'd brought instead of my usual leather purse. What a lovely home, I said, widening my eyes like I'd never seen crown molding before. Thank you, dear. Gerald and I have worked very hard for what we have. Her emphasis on worked wasn't subtle. Gerald appeared from the dining room with Lyle's younger sister Camille trailing behind. She looked me up and down without trying to hide it. So you're the girl Lyle's been hiding from us, Gerald said, extending his hand. His grip was firm, performative. Guilty, I said, letting my voice go softer, more uncertain. I've been nervous about meeting you all. No need to be nervous, Rowena said, guiding us toward the dining room. We're just family. Lyle's told us so much about you. You work in retail, was it? Customer service, yeah. It's not glamorous, but it pays the bills. Of course it does, Camille said. She was 23, fresh out of college, already working at one of her mother's boutiques. Honestly, I think it's admirable. Not everyone can afford to be picky about their careers. Lyle shot her a look. Camille? What? I'm being nice. We sat down to dinner, and I made sure to compliment everything excessively. This is incredible, I said after the first bite. I usually just do pasta and whatever vegetables are on sale. Rowena's smile tightened. How practical of you. Dahlia's really good at budgeting, Lyle said, trying to help. She's been saving up for months. Saving for what, dear? Rowena asked. I hesitated, playing it perfectly. Well, Lyle and I have been talking about getting a place together after the wedding. Nothing fancy, just something we can afford. The temperature in the room dropped. After the wedding, Gerald repeated. Lyle mentioned you two were engaged, but he didn't mention you'd set a date. We haven't exactly. We're thinking next spring, probably something small. I have a friend who's a photographer, and my aunt said we could use her backyard. A backyard wedding, Camille interrupted. That's rustic. It'll be intimate, Lyle said firmly. We don't need some massive production. Of course not, Rowena said, her voice syrupy. But Lyle, darling, you're our only son. Your father and I always imagined you'd have something memorable. What Mom means, Camille added, is that our family has a certain reputation. People will expect something appropriate. Appropriate for who? I asked, letting a little sharpness creep in. Rowena laughed lightly. For everyone, dear. These things matter more than you might realize. The next 2 hours were an endurance test. Every topic circled back to money. What I didn't have, what they did, what Lyle deserved. So your parents are still in Idaho? Gerald asked. Montana, actually. Small town outside Billings. And they're... My dad passed when I was 16. Mom manages a grocery store. I'm sorry for your loss, Rowena said, not sounding sorry at all. It must have been difficult, financially. We managed. Scholarships for college? Camille asked. Loans, mostly, still paying them off. She made a sympathetic noise that sounded more like satisfaction. After dinner, Rowena insisted on showing me the house. Lyle stayed behind with his father, something about discussing business. This is the guest wing, Rowena said, opening doors to rooms bigger than my supposed studio apartment. Gerald's mother stayed here before she passed. She had very particular standards. It's beautiful, I said. She also had very particular standards about family, Rowena continued, stopping at a window overlooking their garden. She believed in equal partnerships, contributions from both sides. I agree with that. Do you? She turned to face me. Dahlia, I'm going to be direct, because I think you seem like a sensible girl. Lyle is our only son. He's been groomed to take over Gerald's business. That comes with expectations, social connections, professional image, a certain lifestyle. I understand. I don't think you do. Her voice stayed pleasant, but her eyes were cold. You seem sweet, but sweetness doesn't pay for the kind of life Lyle is accustomed to. It doesn't open the right doors or make the right impressions. My hands clenched in my pockets. Are you asking me to break up with him? I'm asking you to think about whether you're truly what's best for him. Lyle is generous, sometimes too generous. He sees a struggling young woman and wants to help. But help and marriage are very different commitments. He loves me. I'm sure he thinks he does, she smiled. But love changes when reality sets in. When you realize you can't afford the life his friends have, can't contribute to the household the way their wives do, can't network in the circles that matter for his career. That kind of disparity creates resentment. Camille appeared in the doorway. Mom, Dad wants you downstairs. I'll be right there. Rowena touched my arm, her grip light but deliberate. Think about what I said, for both your sakes. Downstairs, Lyle was helping his father pour drinks in the study. There you are, Lyle said. We were just talking about the wedding. Dad thinks we should consider the country club. I think your mother and I should contribute, Gerald interrupted. It's traditional for the bride's family, of course, but given your circumstances, Dahlia, we want to help. That's generous, but it's not just generosity. It's an investment in our son's future. A proper wedding sends a message about who he is, who we are as a family. What if we don't want a proper wedding? I asked. Gerald's expression hardened slightly. Then I'd question whether you understand what you're marrying into. The drive home was tense. Lyle kept glancing at me, and I kept my face carefully neutral. They can be a lot, he finally said, but they mean well. Do they? Dahlia, come on. They're just protective. You'd be the same way if you had kids. Your mother basically told me I'm not good enough for you. She did not. She told me to think about whether I'm what's best for you. She said you're generous with struggling young women. Lyle was quiet for too long. You're not defending me, I said. I am, Look, they have a point about some things. The wedding, for example. We can't do a backyard thing. My dad's business associates would what? Think less of you for marrying someone poor? It's not like that. Then what's it like? He pulled into my apartment complex but didn't turn off the car. Can I ask you something? And don't get mad. My stomach dropped. What? Would you consider signing a prenup? The words hit like cold water. Excuse me? My dad brought it up. He said it's standard, that it protects both of us. Both of us? Lyle, I have student loans and a 10-year-old car. What exactly would a prenup protect me from? It's not about you, it's about the business. If something happened, if we got divorced. We're not even married yet, and you're planning the divorce? That's not what I'm doing, his voice rose. But yes, I want a prenup. My father insisted. Your father insisted. He's putting a down payment on our house, Dahlia. He's paying for the wedding. He has a right to protect his investment. I stared at him, this man I'd been with for 2 years. His investment. Is that what I am? You're twisting everything. I love you, But I also have to be realistic. We come from different worlds. My family has built something, and I have to protect that. Different worlds, I repeated. Say what you really mean. Fine. You don't have anything. I'm not saying that to be cruel. I'm saying it because it's true. My family does. A prenup makes sense. I unbuckled my seatbelt. I need to go. Dahlia. I need to think. About what? About us? I looked at him, really looked at him, and saw everything his family had said reflected in his face. The doubt, the concern about appearances, the careful calculation of what I was worth. Yeah, I said quietly. About us. I went inside and immediately called my attorney, Petra. She'd been managing my family's trust since my father died. My real father, not the fictional version I told Lyle's family about. How'd it go? She asked. Worse than expected. He wants a prenup. Of course he does. When are you telling him? I don't know if I am. Dahlia, you can't marry someone who doesn't know you have more money than his entire family combined. I can break up with him. Is that what you want? I thought about Rowena's condescending smile, Gerald's careful assessment, Camille's barely concealed contempt, Lyle's easy acceptance of all of it. I want them to know what they lost, I said. 3 days later, Lyle called me. We need to talk. We met at a coffee shop, neutral territory. He looked tired. I've been thinking about what you said, he started. About the prenup, about my family. You're right that they can be judgmental. Can be? Are. They are judgmental. But Dahlia, they're also my family. I can't just cut them off. I'm not asking you to. Aren't you? Because it feels like you're asking me to choose. I'm asking you to stand up for me, to tell them I'm enough exactly as I am. He looked down at his coffee. What if I can't do that? The irreversible moment arrived quietly, in a coffee shop on a Tuesday morning. What if I'm not sure you are? He continued. Enough, I mean. Not in a cruel way, just practically. My life is complicated. The business, the expectations, the social obligations. I need someone who can navigate that world with me, someone who understands it. Someone with money. Someone with experience in that environment, yes. Someone who won't feel out of place or resentful when we have to attend events or entertain clients or make appearances. You mean someone your mother approves of. Someone my family respects, he corrected. Is that really so unreasonable? I stood up. No, it's not unreasonable. It's clarifying. Where are you going? Somewhere. I'm enough. I didn't contact him again. Not when he texted, not when he called, not when he showed up at what he thought was my apartment. Instead, I called Petra, my attorney who'd managed my family's trust since my father died. I need you to make some arrangements, I said. 2 weeks later, I attended the annual philanthropy gala downtown, the same one Lyle's family attended every year. I wore a dress that cost more than Rowena's entire wardrobe. I arrived with Petra, who was listed as one of the event's major donors. Camille saw me first. Her face went blank. Then Rowena turned, and I watched the recognition hit. Dahlia? Lyle appeared beside his mother. What are you doing here? Supporting causes I care about. Petra, you remember Lyle Hendricks? Of course, Petra said. His father's firm handles some third-tier commercial properties, doesn't he? Gerald joined them, his expression calculating as he assessed my appearance, the way people kept stopping to greet me. I don't understand, Rowena said. You never asked the right questions. You assumed because I dressed a certain way that you knew who I was. You lied to us, Camille said. I performed a test. You failed. Lyle grabbed my arm. Dahlia, can we talk privately?
I removed his hand. Your mother wanted to know if I could navigate social obligations. Here I am. Your father died when I was 16 and left me a trust worth more than your father's entire firm. My mother retired at 55. Rowena had gone pale. You let us believe. I let you show me who you were. I looked at Lyle. Especially you. You set me up. I gave you a chance to love someone you thought had nothing. You chose money over me. That's not fair, Lyle said weakly. Fair would have been you defending me. There would have been you seeing me instead of calculating my worth. Petra touched my elbow. The governor wants to say hello. I looked at Lyle one last time. You asked if I was enough. Turns out, I was too much. We walked away, leaving them standing in their shock. Word spread quickly, not from me, but from everyone who witnessed it. Rowena's boutiques lost their society clientele. Gerald's firm lost contracts. Camille's social media following collapsed. Lyle tried reaching me twice more. Both times, Petra sent cease and desist letters. I didn't need revenge. The truth had been enough. I'm curious, though. If someone tests you by hiding who they really are, and you fail that test spectacularly, does their deception somehow make your cruelty more excusable?